Today I want to show you an easy vessel that you can make to grow spirulina wherever you are, in your tiny house, in your apartment, in your yurt. So in case you don't know, spirulina is a microalgae and has a fantastic nutritional profile for us, but also for your bees. So I made a previous video on the main 3 tips that you can use to optimize the growth of your spirulina, but I was using a glass container, which is probably the best thing you could use. But the problem with glass is every time you harvest spirulina, you clean it, you take a risk of breaking it. So this container is made of a 5-gallon jug, the kind of plastic jug you could use for water, you could find all over the place. You could use those kind of guys. I've been using that for many years in a closet, work totally fine. But the one I've found to work best, if you can, is to find a 5-gallon, but with a square shape. And I will tell you why it's even better. So what you want to do first, at the bottom, you want to put a piece of foam. So what I like to use, I found those purple foam in the street all the time. And you want to use that because if you put that in your kitchen, the tiles are cold, you want to keep the temperature of the spirulina warm. Spirulina grows, thrives the same temperature than us, and the tiles are cold, so you insulate your spirulina. The second thing you want to do is you want to mimic the sun. So around the vessel, you can put LED strips. The spectrum doesn't matter, you could use white. I've been using white colors for many years, it works. Spirulina is very resilient. Ideally, you could use pink and blue, the same kind of LED you would buy for plants. The key thing though, so you put them all around, you see the colors of the spirulina was growing right here. You want to keep 4 fingers at the bottom where you don't put any LED strip. You start from here. And the reason is spirulina in nature, in lakes, in Chad, in South America, goes to the surface to do photosynthesis, but spirulina needs to go in the shade to the bottom of the lake. So by avoiding to put LED here, you create that shady spot that spirulina likes. Then what you need to do is to wrap your vessel with Reflectix. So it's a very thing you find all over the place, Home Depot. Very useful in beekeeping. I will make a video why. And to hold that, you could use those zip ties for electricity. You use 2 of them, and that's it. So what you want to do to finish, you put a plug on top, because with that shape, all the evaporation, the water will leave. So you want to make sure the water drains and goes back in the vessel. But you need to cut a hole here. So what I like to use is to use a soldering iron to make a hole in a 5-gallon jug, like that. Because you need the spirulina to be able to breathe. So spirulina thrives in carbon dioxide and release oxygen. You know, the thing like global warming, so spirulina is pretty good. So just a crazy idea, if we were to grow spirulina all over the equator, you will reduce huge amount of carbon dioxide, generating job, amazing food. Just an idea. And what I did at the end, I just cut a piece of a Reflectix on top of it as a little hat, just to cover the top of the vessel, because it's very bright in the evening. And the last thing, you could put a pump in it. You don't have to. And to mimic the sun again, there's a sunrise and a sunset. So I use a timer. I adapt the timer on my schedule, 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. And then you have an easy way to grow spirulina at home. And the last thing I wanted to tell you, why the square shape is better than the round one. First of all, tiny reason, when you put the LED strip, it's difficult to fit them here. No big deal. But the main reason is when you harvest spirulina, you want to rinse the inside, and when you have something like that, you cannot really clean everything with your hand. But if you use a square shape, you can do that. It's even better. Et voilà!